Welcome to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm the head coach, Josh Robinson. Chad Fisher will not be here today. We had some young men get injured, and at the time of the recording of this show, he was with them to check on their injuries and be with their families as we did this event. This past Friday, we took on Ridgeland High School and came out with a huge 27-16 victory. At their place. We started out opening up with a 7-0 lead, playing pretty good defense. We made a couple of mistakes, gave them an extra possession in the kicking game, and turned the ball over a few times that led to their 16 points, which were all scored in the second quarter. Luckily, our young men, we challenged them at halftime to stay the course, to believe in what we were doing. We're only down by 9 points. We had done things to cost ourselves. We knew Ridgeland was a good football team and certainly not going to give up and going to keep pressing to get a bigger lead, but our young men fortunately made the decision to keep on going, and we came out of there with a huge victory. First, let's start off talking about the passing game. Owen Brooker was 11 for 19 with 167 yards and a touchdown to Preston Neely. Really good night by Owen. He's growing. He's becoming more of what we know he can be. We're starting to turn the reins loose a little bit more on him in the running game, and as he evolves in the running game, it will only get better because it's another weapon. Outran a few really fast young men for Ridgeland High School, which was nice to see. But throwing wise, did a good job putting the ball where it needed to be. Made a couple mistakes, but that's part of it. None of us played perfect. I did not coach perfect, but our goal is perfection and improve each week. Receiving-wise, they really concentrated on Matthew Redmond, who had been our top target coming into the game for just reason. Very, very talented young man. He came out of the game with 2 receptions for 41 yards. They basically double covered him all night, man-to-man, trying to get some length on him, but he did a good job still coming up with 2 catches. Preston Neely had a huge night for us, coming out with 5 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. Preston's a very capable player. We have others that are very capable, and we saw him come up with a really huge catch on 3rd down to keep the drive moving. Made a few more throughout the night, and then would almost drop the ball. That was because the defender made a great break on it. That ended up being his touchdown. He was able to grab it on a second effort that went into the end zone, and then the extra point gave us the lead. Another wide receiver for us, Cade Fisher, had 3 catches for 41 yards. And unfortunately, Cade may have torn his ACL. We're praying that that's not the case, but we will find out more. Nonetheless, he's a strong young man who's going to come back a even better baseball player and football player for us once he recovers from whatever injury this turns out to be. Rushing-wise, we played the game, unfortunately, with Jeb Brooker broke his hand, and I'm going to say the first 5 to 7 plays. Played a few more plays after us, after he broke it, and then unfortunately for us had to exit the game. And Alex Starks and Damon Banta came in, done an admirable job. We were already missing one of our other starters, Case and Kittle, so we were down 2 starting linemen, and we still had a what I would call a successful night rushing against a very athletic team. Gavin Ellis had 20 carries for 55 yards. Gavin is a hard runner for us, and we know exactly what we're going to get. We're going to continue to work on cutbacks and bounce outs at appropriate times, but we definitely know he's going to rush the ball as hard as he can and be a physical player for us. I'll mention him again in a moment. Bryce Mantooth had 7 carries for 15 yards. Gets his feet up a couple of times. I believe he's going to end up with more yardage, but we're going to continue to see those 2 guys carry the bulk of our carries. And then Owen Brooker came out of it with 4 carries for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. Very good pull by him. Could have done it more. We're starting to turn him loose to do that, and he's got to be able to read it better and realize when it's time to do it. But he picked and chose his instances very well. I believe 3 of them were good decisions, 1 of them bad. And for a guy that's just now adding that to his repertoire, that's pretty good. He ended up with a long 59-yard touchdown, and then also had a second touchdown that was huge. We were up, I believe at the time, 20-16, and Field goal only puts us up by 7, and he was able to punch it in the end zone. I said I was going to mention it earlier. Gavin Ellis had a huge block on the play, really took a young man off his feet that was responsible for the quarterback by Gavin, and Owen dove in the end zone to give us the final score as the lead. Overall, a good night for us on offense. We certainly want to cut out the mistakes, and they're going to need to be successful in our other games. But we like the progress that we've made since Game 2 offensively. At this time, let's take a look at the first half highlights. Ridgeland won the toss and ended up deferring the second half, and we complete a really big pass to Matthew here. It was one time we got the free safety to kind of move away from Matthew. We ended up stalling out, and they got the ball, and you can see guys are flying around. There's Jordan McCamish with one of his tackles. Kind of missed a little bit, but really brought him off his feet. There's a tackle for a loss by Chase Humble. We got a lot of other individuals not lined up here, kind of disappointing. It's the first time all year we haven't been there. Great tackle by Matthew and Colby Ramsey. Here they're trying to power the ball at us, and Bailey McQuaig, Zach Coslow, and a host of other Bruins there on the tackle. Here they are running the toss sweep. Jordan McCamish gets out on, sets the edge, and Chase Humble and other Bruins in on the tackle, trying to run it up the middle, and we do a great job. Colby Ramsey, again, had an outstanding game for us. Trying to run the toss, Jordan gets out there, huge job gaining leverage and making a tackle for a loss for us. Here they're running the bubble. I believe that's Hayden Pack and Jordan McCamish and Keaton McQuaig all in on the tackle. Here they are going forward on fourth down. We end up stopping them, coming back on offense, running the trap. Good job by those guys up front. We had, this time Jeb was still in. There's Preston Neely with his first catch on the night. Good ball from Owen. Here is Owen's first pull in quite some time, only a couple this whole year. And all those young men, especially number 16 right there, is a really fast individual, and Owen pulls it and is able to win the foot race to the end zone to put us up 7-0. They come back and run the toss. They feel like they've got something. Chase Humble comes off, really gets off the hold, and ends up with a slew of Bruins making a tackle. There, I believe that's Jake Fawcett in for Logan Akins at the time, who had an injury with a tackle. Colby Ramsey, Chase Humble again in on the tackle. We end the first quarter up 7-0. Punt the ball away here to us, and the young man really was one of the better punters that we've seen in quite some time. Back down deep, and our guys are running. Here you can see Gavin and his effort as typical. He really does a good job blocking for us. Good ball by Owen to Cade Fisher to get us the first down. We end up throwing an interception. They get the ball on the 1 yard line. Score. We end up throwing another interception that got tipped. We stop them for a little bit, but really the ball was inside our 10 both times, and we end up allowing them to score again. So we're down 14-7. We punt the ball away right here. Really good punt by Matthew Redmond. Rolls out of bounds inside the 35. They end up hitting us with a long pass. We've got to be more disciplined in the secondary, but our guys do an outstanding job. There's Jacob Sanders, who had a really good night for us. And Zach Coslow flowing to the outside, making tackles, which has really been a big difference here lately as that went. There's Jordan McCamish on one of his 33 tackles. They end up making them kick a field goal, and then after that they really didn't move the ball very much anymore. Cade Fisher on the hitch. Owen throws a good ball. We end up punting the ball back to them, and I believe this is Dakota Hickman hanging on to a very good player for Ridgeland, rolling out to pass the ball. We end up with good coverage here, getting good pressure. This had been a really big play for them, and our guys really stuffed it. Outstanding job by them. We hit the trap late in the half. Good block by Dayton Cowart, Harden, Reed Chadwick, a lot of those individuals. At this time, we go into the half 16-7. Let's take a look at our corporate sponsors.
Brian Baker, number 3, cornerback. Rap, country, a little bit of everything. Most of the time I just lay down, listen to some music, or I'll walk around, talk to some people. That's about it. Probably the Dalton game. It was just a big game. There's a lot of people there, a lot of nervousness, nerves going around. Loud truck. I'd probably go to Montana because I've been there before and it's really beautiful, a lot of mountains. There's not a lot, but probably just some friends zip-tied my bag about a year ago. Me and Bryson, we rolled Ethan's Jeep in caution tape one day after practice. Happened this year, the Dalton game, when I came off and Coach Rob started yelling at me about a bunch of different stuff. I deserved it, but it was just embarrassing for everybody else to see him do that. Definitely the coaches, my family, and Brewsters. Brian Baker, number 3, cornerback.
My name's Ethan Ensley. I'm number 10 and I play wide receiver. Probably my favorite trap, but I listen to about everything. Usually I just kind of put in my headphones, listen to music, and just kind of chill out. Probably my first varsity reception. Probably Dubai, just because it's like one of the richest cities in the world, so. Ever pulled on me? Bryson Cox wrapped my Jeep in caution tape. Probably took Dakota Hickman's truck and moved it. I always slept with my closet light on. Scared of the dark. I'd like to thank my family, all my coaches, everyone who just kind of pushed me through, trying to make myself better. My name's Ethan Ensley. I'm number 10 and I play wide receiver.
Welcome back to the Northwest Bruin Football Show. Let's talk a little bit about our defense. Outstanding effort by these young men. It would take a long time to call out every single stat, so I'll move a little bit quicker than we typically do because we have seniors and their senior spotlight that we definitely want to get to as we go through the show. But at the same time, we have to mention that we held Ridgeland to 15 yards rushing on the night with very, very talented young men and a very big offensive line. So it was a great effort by all of our guys. We really limited them but essentially, including the special teams mistake, we ended up giving them the ball 4 extra possessions, and our guys still were able to limit them. And really, when we stopped them, made them kick a field goal after a big play, that was really the last positive yards they had until the game was, for all intents and purposes, over with. Late in the fourth quarter, they picked up a first down. Zach Coslow on the night had 7 tackles and a tackle for a loss. Chase Humble had 9 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, a sack, and 4 quarterback pressures. Dakota Hickman on the night had 5 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 3 quarterback pressures, and a block kick. So our D-line played really, really well. Those guys were very instrumental in setting up Jordan McCamish, which we'll talk about in a moment. And they had really gaudy stats, really a fantasy football top line for a defensive lineman. Did an outstanding job against offensive linemen that are really much larger human beings than they are, played really fast. We need them to continue that for us to be successful. I'm going to take a moment and talk about Jordan McCamish. You know, I'm not very big on individual awards, those kind of things. It's more about the team. But we do have to recognize that Jordan McCamish, with the help of his teammates, and he would say the same thing, ended up with a school record 33 tackles and 5 tackles for a loss. He broke Austin Morrison's record for tackles in an individual game, which was prior to that was 31. So we're really proud of Jordan and all of our defense. Bailey McQuaig ended up with 5 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Logan Akins had 5 tackles. Colby Ramsey had 15 tackles and 4 tackles for a loss, which is an outstanding night and would be the leading tackler on our in an individual game this year. But Jordan happened to have an exceptional game. Colby's been playing wonderful for us, just like Logan and Bailey have. Those 4 guys as our starter have been instrumental in our success, just as those D linemen. Jake Fawcett, we had different injuries at times between Logan and Bailey. Jake came in with an outstanding game with 5 tackles, a tackle for a loss, and a pressure. Has done an outstanding job, and he has to be ready to go as we try to get through our injuries and continue this football season in a successful manner on defense. And then Damon Banta, he only had 1 tackle, but I have to also say he was starting and playing in the offensive line in the second half and did an outstanding job to really be a linebacker, to go in there and sacrifice himself to block people. That's not a common thing. In the secondary, Hayden Pack had 4 tackles and an interception. Jacob Sanders had 8 tackles and 2 interceptions. Keith McQuaig had 5 tackles. Matthew Redmond had 5 tackles, and Cooper Pardee ended up with 2 tackles. So overall, a very good night. Our secondary comes up with 3 turnovers for us at instrumental times in the second half that really, between that, defensive play and special teams play and better execution out of our offense, really turned the night around to score 20 unanswered points in the second half and come out of Ridgeland with a victory. At this time, let's take a look at second half highlights. Start the second half off when they get the ball. They're trying to run the ball right at us, and good job by Matthew coming up and really setting the edge, and then Jordan McCamish makes the tackle. Got to be careful on the sideline because they really wanted it late. They're wanting to throw the bubble, but Jordan McCamish does a great job of getting out there. It's Colby Ramsey on one of his many tackles running the buck sweep here. Our linemen got to really get out there and you know, go forward with some intent to punish, but good job running by our guys. We end up getting a very good punt away. They throw the screen. Colby Ramsey does a good job of playing it, just needs to make the tackle, but an awesome job by Bailey McQuaig and Zach Coslow. They punted away here, and again, probably as high a punt as I've seen. Cooper has a little bit of trouble trying to field it. There was actually a personal foul and a roughing the kicker, so we replayed the down. And then this was a huge play in the game, kind of swung momentum. Great block there. Matthew Redmond down the sideline, goes out of bounds inside the 35. Here we're throwing the hitch to Preston Neely. He ends up getting about 7 yards there. We got a first down. It's kind of starting the drive the same way, going the other way. Great job by Owen reading the zone here, throwing the ball earlier, get inside the 10. And really out of disappointment, we end up kicking a field goal. But, you know, the thinking is here we've cut the lead to within a touchdown. As good as our defense is playing, we feel really good. Great job by Ramsey setting the edge. Zach Coslow just dominating up front. There you can see Dakota Hickman and Jordan McCamish on a huge play. I really feel like they'd have went for it on 4th down. We end up getting him for a loss. Another huge kick down deep, and Matthew Redmond gets the ball, gets a great return. I know it's only 15 yards, but that's a big deal to get us out of back in the end zone. Trying to throw the slant. Owen loads up. He should have thrown it the first time before he pump faked, but ends up throwing it. Gigantic play by Preston Neely to really come out. We really needed someone that hadn't made great plays for us to make one, and he doesn't only do it one time, but he does it twice. And that puts us tied 16-16. Y'all, here's a part I haven't mentioned him enough. up to this point. He adds on the extra point. He had kicked a field goal. He ends up kicking another field goal in a moment. Great job here by Hayden Pack playing. We really had the tackle and the ball was thrown bad, so he comes off, makes a great adjustment. You can see the convoy leading him inside the 20. Going into the fourth quarter here at the end, we've got Gavin Ellis with an outstanding run. We end up kicking a field goal once again to go up 20-16. We feel good about it. I feel really good about our defense. We're not going to risk it down the goal line. Here you can see why all our guys are flying to the ball. Chase Humble kind of goes through. He needs to go a little faster. He's one of the fastest guys on the team, breaks free. They end up snapping the ball bad, and Mr. Ramsey with a big tackle here to set the ball up. Gavin, we run off the edge. Number 3 makes a good play for them, but nonetheless we pick up 5 or 6 yards. Another good run by Gavin, who just is a very hard player. We really like his effort. We get down the goal line, and here Gavin knocks the linebacker off his feet on third down to put us up 26. Here it makes it 27-16, and as well as our defense is playing with 5 minutes left, I'm not relaxed, but again, I feel really good about where we're at. Dakota Hickman in on the tackle. Our linebackers, it's really a team effort by these guys. He's throwing it deep. I believe Jacob Sanders is going to pick this off. We're over the top. We're playing smart football now. Don't let them beat us outside the edge. Here's Gavin Ellis with the outside zone running for us. Does a good job. We need to stay on our block, but nonetheless, we end up punting the ball away. They end up getting their only first down of the second half, I believe, on a pass to get them down there, but our guys are flying around. Good effort there by Matthew Redmond. And it's kind of a D lineman's dream to come out in this situation, be able to pin your ears back and go, but we were able to play the draw and screens effectively there. Jacob Sanders was waiting on the return. On the pass. We get a big return. I'm not sure why penalty was thrown there, but they throw 2 on us actually, and then Jacob tackled himself with a cramp along about the 23-yard line. We go in at the end of the game, Northwest 27, Ridgeland 16. At this time, let's take a look at our corporate sponsors again.
Adam Long, 62. I play defensive end. I listen to country, pretty much. I got 2 phone recoveries on my birthday game 2 years ago. I was on my way to a senior dinner, and Zach was in the car with me, and we hit a curb and it popped my tire, and they gave me crap about it ever since. Probably the Bahamas. They put like jelly or something on my car handle so I couldn't open it. I don't really prank people, I get pranked. I wanted to go get off the ball, and then I slipped, and then the fat center just fell on top of me. I ran outside butt naked one time. Just my parents and my aunt for being there. Adam Long, 62, I played defensive end.
My name is Hunter Brooks. I'm number 75 and I am the left guard. I take a nap. Yeah, that's all. I do track and field, but I don't run or anything. I throw shot put and discus, and I help out with the drama program. I do lights. A couple weeks ago, I got into a fight with Bailey, but we patched it up. It's okay. Home. I don't want to be at school. We don't do much to me. I'm pretty funny, but most people know that because I'm very talkative. Ooh, Coach Rob, Coach Miner, Coach Hall, all the coaching staff, they're the best people on the planet, my family, and all the football players for being my friends all throughout high school, my brothers. My name is Hunter Brooks. I'm number 75 and I am the left guard.
Welcome back to Northwest Bruin Football Show. I'm Josh Robinson. Coming off a big week, a win against Ridgeland. We're really going into another week. We have to put that behind us and continue to improve as a football team. We play Lafayette High School here for our homecoming. It's going to be a great night. Really good weather. Looks like it's happening. More football weather in October. A lot of young women are excited and their families, and we wish all of them the best of luck. We also wish luck to our volleyball team and softball team as they continue through their season, progressing into their tournaments. We certainly hope they do well. Our band is also continuing to compete in their competitions, and we wish them the best of luck. Hope there's a giant crowd coming out, momentum rising for the Bruins. We hope to continue that and make our community proud and our alumni proud as they come back to homecoming. Until next week, I'm Josh Robinson.